Hey, so first of all, I apologize for my hair looking so incredibly tall today. I don't know what's going on there. So this is our last day of boot camp. Typically, I try and keep these videos down to 2 or 3 minutes. Today might run a little bit longer just because I have a soapbox to climb up onto. You know how much I get excited about that. So, yeah, last day, 4 weeks, flew by. It really and truly did. Other than, life happening in between. The boot camp part of it, dude, it's totally awesome. So today, as campers, we had the option of showing up about 15-20 minutes early to have our weight, inches, body fat assessment done. It is everything that I can do to get there at 5:30 in the morning, so getting there any earlier is not exactly an option. So I chose not to do that and slept a little bit longer. Rhonda, however, did get there a little bit early and had her evaluation done. I'm not going to ruin all of her thunder, but she had some really good results, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, for the actual camp portion of it, at the very beginning of the camp, the first Friday that we were there, we did kind of an endurance, strength, speed kind of baseline. We did push-ups, squats, shoulder presses on each shoulder, and we ran a mile. We recorded all those results, and then we did the identical tests again today to see how much we'd improved. Oh, yeah, and actually, I was voted most improved camper. That was really exciting for me because anyway, I'll talk about all that in a minute. So, the results. Rhonda had great results. She should be extremely proud. She lost an inch on each arm, an inch off of each arm. That's crazy, isn't it? She lost almost 2 inches, like an inch and 3/4 off of each thigh. Dude, that's insane. She lost 2 inches off of her hips. These are all really great things. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to get my weight and inch assessment done, so I couldn't really speak to what I did there. But but I did do the regular assessment, and my strength and my speed. I was really kind of proud of myself. I know that sounds silly. Like, we're never supposed to be proud of anything that we do, because we're women and we're supposed to just be like, yeah, of course I could do that. But guys, I was really proud of myself. I shaved 1.5 minutes off of my time. Now, I have to tell you, when we did the baseline test, I was kicking my own ass because I had not run in a long time, and I don't know if you guys are runners out there, but when you run and then you stop, your time goes to crap. And so I was kicking my own ass to get to a 12:55 mile. To get a 12:55 mile in, took everything out of me, and I'm pretty sure I went home and passed out after I threw up. So I didn't know what to expect today. I just figured anything had to be better than 12:55. And I crossed the finish line at 11:12. 11:12. Now, I have to say, when I was running, even at my peak condition, it was a struggle to get an 11-minute mile. So I was extremely impressed, and it didn't, I was tired. I just ran a mile, but I wasn't exhausted, and I could have gone further. I was really kind of impressed with how well that came to me. So that was good. I know that I doubled my shoulder presses. My push-ups were kind of weak anyway, mostly because this is why I think our miles could have been better even. My nose was running down into my mouth when I was doing push-ups, and I could only put up with that for so long, so my push-ups were not as good as they could have been, but my squats were good. And so I want to talk on my soapbox a minute about how to look at results, because I'll even tell you where I'm coming from. It's extremely easy to look at a scale and to judge yourself and your successes and your failures by the numbers you see on the scale. I think we all do that as women. It's kind of part of who we are, and it's kind of part of what society does to us. If I were to judge my successes and my failures only by the scale, I would have failed boot camp. According to my scale, and Joe's may be different, my scale tells me that I've gained 8 pounds through the process of boot camp. Now, if I were to just say that, not having done boot camp, and I had said, hey, I just gained 8 pounds in a month, Brian would send me to go pee on a stick because obviously something's wrong. And I could easily take that and go, oh my God, I so failed. I gained almost 10 pounds doing this. Getting up at 5:30 every morning and kicking my own ass, I gained almost 10 pounds. But here's the thing. I don't know how many inches I've lost. I don't know any of that. But I made a promise to myself. Many of you know that I have a 2-year-old. I talk about him all the time, Tony. What I don't talk about all the time, because I don't think about it very often, is that my child was born with a foot deformity. He was born with post-medial bowing of the tibia, which means his legs were crossed in the womb and he never uncrossed them. So one of his legs grew around the other. So the tibia on his left leg is very S-shaped. and that left leg is about 2 inches, an inch and a half shorter. So when he was born, his foot laid flat against his shin. It was terrifying, as you can imagine. So having a child born with a deformity leaves you with a million questions. And the specialists, we see them all the time, told us that until he gets to be about 4 or 5 and his bones are at a certain point in growing, there's nothing that they could do. So we had tons of unknowns. Would he walk? Would he walk easily? Would he walk well? How noticeable would this deformity be? He wore a brace from the time he was about 6 months to about a year and a half old. And that was mainly to stabilize his ankle while he walked. But he walked at the same time as all of his peers. And he was moving and jumping and skipping, and to this day does not slow down. So I made a promise to myself. We told him he could do anything, and that we expected him to do anything he ever wanted to do, and we would never put a handicap on him and say, because of your foot, you can't do this. At the same time, I made a promise that I would never lead a lifestyle that left me so sedentary and exhausted and unconditioned that if he said, hey, Mama, I want to go play soccer, just like I would never say, you can't because of your foot, I would never say, I can't because I can't do it. So my goal in life is to be able to keep up with my son. And oh my God, if that's not a challenge, I don't know what is. So, did I gain 8 pounds through the course of boot camp? Yes, I did. But in the process, I shaved 1.5 minutes off my mile. I doubled the number of shoulder presses I can do. I don't know how many inches I've lost, but my arms don't look the same. There's a divot in the back of my shoulder where there's a muscle. I didn't even know there was a muscle back there. But dude, I can see it. Brian is amazed at my back. He talks about it all the time, about how strong my back is now. I can't tell you the success that boot camp gave me. It's not on the scale. It's in everything else that I do. I get more done by 7 o'clock in the morning than most people get done all day. And I get the rest of the day to just take it at my own pace. I am well rested. I sleep better. I examine everything that goes into my mouth because I have to consider, I got up at 5:30 this morning and kicked my own ass for an hour. Do I want to undo it with one McFlurry? No, I don't want to undo it with one McFlurry. I want to save it for cheesecake or something, but you make those priorities. Boot camp does so much more than revamp your body. And it will revamp your body. Am I in the body that I've always wanted right now? No, I'm not. Am I extremely proud of my body right now? I am. I am extremely proud of everything that I've done. I am proud of how mentally strong we were. I am proud of how physically strong we've become. And am I looking forward to continuing down this road? Yeah, I am. Because if I look at everything good in my life, everything that I've ever wanted, nothing came quickly and nothing came easily. My husband and I dated for 2 years before we even decided to get married. Some people go longer. I'm a jump-in kind of person. I had to gestate my baby for 10 months. Nothing comes quickly. Nothing worth having. Am I going to put in another month at boot camp? Yeah, I'm going to be there at the next session. Will I get down to my Brooke Burke lookalike contest body that I've always wanted? I don't know. Do I feel better than I have in a long time? I do. And I'm really, really proud. So, if you had any doubts at all about putting this big chunk of money into something that you could potentially fail at, the only way that you could fail at boot camp is by not doing it. The end. I want to thank Joe a lot for having us at boot camp. It's absolutely been a pleasure. And for those of you who want to join us, you can find them at HuntsvilleAdventureBootCamp.com. For those of you who want to join us, you can find them at HuntsvilleBootCamp.com. And I encourage you to. You'd love every minute of it, and there is no failure in it. I'll see you later. Until the next time, bless your hearts.